And here, we're going to see a lot of the same questions that we've seen in other places, right? So the first thing, again, translation of foreign documents. It can't be stressed enough how important this is. Whenever you're getting deeds from overseas, whenever you're getting ancestral documents that are naming out plots, I mean, it's very, very complicated, not just in the US, but anywhere in the world where you're talking about specific nomenclature for plots of land, how it's assessed, how it's viewed, what are the boundaries. All those things need to be translated accurately so that you can basically show that it's the same property. I'll give you a very easy example. So in India, for example, when properties are first kind of plotted and sequestered, they have a separate name. They have a name that's just assigned to them. But over years, sometimes 40, 50 years later, but by the time that we're now in the modern day, we're now selling this land, it's got a completely different name that you would never have even seen on any of the original documents. Every document along the way has to be translated accurately to show the changes that the land has undergone until the present day, right? And any break in there where you go from like one property name to a new one and you're unable to show the nexus between those two, you're going to have a problem with USCIS, and they're going to say that this is not the same property at all. Okay, so it's really, really important to focus on the translation of the purchase and sale agreements, the deeds, any bank statements, any asset valuations. You want to make sure that everything is accurate, showing the right numbers as always, but also showing the right details associated with the property so that the references are 100% correct and USCIS does not have any questions about which property is which, basically. Another, we come back to the taxes again, and again, this can't be stressed enough. Nothing is free in a lot of countries. So when you have properties that you've appreciated over time, whether you have businesses that have appreciated over time, you really want to be able to show that you're meeting all of your tax liability. It's a great way to obviously show the amount of income that you have, the amount of value that you have in those assets to show to pay taxes every year. The assessments are done on a yearly basis typically, but you want to show that you're meeting your tax liability as well. And then finally, the tracing from source to current account. This is a common problem, and we saw it with ordinary income. It's equally as important and maybe even more cumbersome with capital gains, right? When let's say you've got a company, you've got bank records showing that you started the company, but then once you basically, get into the finances of the company itself and how you've grown the company over years, and if you start commingling your personal and business accounts, that's going to lead to a lot of issues. So really making sure that the tracing is done in a clean way that makes it easy for the officer to understand how this asset has grown over time, whether it's property, whether it's equity that you have in a company, whether it's your own company, tracing the beginning all the way to the end and maintaining kind of clean accounts is going to be really, really important for any kind of capital gain source of fund.